Can you reinvent your life after 40? And the question I get most, Austin, how did you do it? How did you find your purpose? How did you quit your job? But first, I want to share this little nugget with you, and I'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. It's a great day. I'm excited to be alive. I'm excited to be living the life of my dreams, and just super excited about what's to come. That's right. Motivation sucks. You know why motivation sucks? Because motivation typically comes from a place of force. Comes from a place of, I may not be good enough, so I got to go over and above and beyond to make sure I'm the best and I'm good enough. Even more often, it comes from a place of survival, where you're just forcing yourself. I think we all can relate to that motivation. You know what's better is inspiration, where you're in alignment with your purpose and your dreams, and action flows from that place and less force is required. You're more fulfilled. I think we all can relate, maybe have been at both places without recognizing it. I know I have been at both places, and I can honestly say at this point in my life, I am operating from inspiration, and the right actions are flowing, the right people are showing up, the right situations and circumstances are showing up, and life is super exciting. So if you're not at that place, I invite you to get there by getting in alignment with your purpose, by asking yourself, what is your life dream? And taking even small steps today to move toward those things. And when you get in that place, I can promise you, great things will inevitably show up. Having said that, I wish you an amazing day. You can change it. You can make it happen right now. Don't delay. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you real soon. Be great. That's a video from 10 years ago. That was maybe the first video I ever posted. I've been posting inspirational content for over 10 years. One of the things, too, I've been journaling for over 20 years. And I just picked up this journal. You won't even believe what I paid. I'll tell you what I paid for this journal. But can you reinvent your life after 40? And the question I get more often, and I'm going to give you some nuggets today. I got 3 things that I want to share with you. But how did I reinvent my life? How did I discover my purpose? Because it's going to be 5 years. Next July 3rd is going to be 5 years from when I walked away from my corporate job. And the journey continues and the journey is shifted. But I want to share with you, I want to go back in time to kind of peel back, like what was going on at that time and how did I get to the point where I jumped and I left the job. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to everyone who's been following this journey of mine for a while. I thank you. Some of you are active, some of you are passive, but I know you're there and I'm excited about what's to unfold. So the answer to these questions, can you reset after 40? How did I do it? How I did it, I didn't, of course it was a decision, but I didn't just jump right off the bat. I began to create a program. I began to do the work. And the short answer is I started to go deeper into myself. I had to go deeper because I was living at the surface. I have this quote, we live at the surface longing to go deeper. And so I had lived at the surface for over a decade. And I was trying things, I was doing things, but I was still at that surface level. I was still overthinking. And then I started to get more intentional. I started to go deeper. So that was number 1, depth. I wanted to dig out of myself. What was the most important thing inside that I could pull out, that I could uncover that would cause me to move forward? And so I started to ask some questions around purpose. What's my life about? What really matters to me? Who can I serve? And I started to dig deeper. Number 2, I embraced uncertainty. And that was a tough one. That took me a while because I would be overthinking things and like, so how can you embrace uncertainty? That's a deeper conversation, but that was number two. Being able to get out of the comfort zone at varying degrees until you can quit your job and walk away. Number three, anchor, anchor, anchor. Anchoring in your purpose. So, number one, you go deep to uncover it. Number two, you embrace uncertainty at a high level. Number three, you anchor it in. You anchor it deep inside of you. And now you get out of your overthinking mind. You're not always thinking about what to do. Your purpose gets so strong that action now is the fruit of purpose. Does that make sense? Action is now the fruit of purpose. It's not like you sitting around and overthinking about what you're going to do, because I did plenty of that. I did plenty of overthinking. But when I sat down and I said, what's my purpose? And I stayed with the uncertainty of it, and I began to write down what was driving me or what was going to drive me moving forward, action burst forth. And that led me to quitting my job after 19 years with the same Fortune 500 company. I was in sales. I had lots of road to go down. I would have been promoted. I would have gotten more positions. I would have made really good money. But you can't be propped up on superficial ideations anymore. There's more. There's a depth. There's a soul seeking. And a soul that's seeking is never going to be a quiet soul. It might not scream. You know, your soul may not scream at the top of its lungs, but your soul that seeks will never go quiet. It will be with you until the day that you die. But if you're getting this video, I trust it's not this day. Hello, Joe Swim. Thank you for joining on TikTok. And I can only say that as much as you think you know today when you do the work, there's going to be more that opens up. You cannot possibly figure it all out. You can't possibly know it all. And there, my road has opened up. It's changed. Now, Fortune 500 company sales pro to a poet. I assure you, that was not the plan. Can you imagine me going into my boss? Hey, I'm going to resign. I'm quitting my job after 19 years with the same company. Why are you quitting? I'm going to go be a poet. Like, that wasn't the conversation. I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I wanted to write books, and I've done those things. But the biggest, deepest call that I didn't see was dormant. It was dormant. It was a seed inside, and I didn't know the seed was there. But as I moved forward with purpose, action became the fruit of my purpose. And as I continued to take action, confused much of the, a lot of the time, making every mistake in the book. I've made so many mistakes. The seed sprouted when I least expected it. And now I'm going to be facing 5 years. July 3rd is going to be 5 years from the time I said I quit. I walked away, and I have a grateful heart. I'm grateful for all of you. And I've been posting on social media for 10 years. I just posted the very first video. It's up on YouTube. You can check it out. The very first, it's rough. It's where I was at that time, but it's an interesting video. It was dated June 11th, 2014. So I've been posting content for 10 years straight. 10 years straight. And you may say, how can you do that? Because my purpose has never left me. It's just now changing. And I'm excited to share this. I love this. I've been journaling for about 20 years, maybe more. because I felt like I was flawed. I felt like I had to go find the answers somewhere. I knew they were somewhere, but they weren't in me at that time. They were somewhere else. They were in some other guru, or some other person had the keys. Austin wasn't given the keys. Austin didn't have the keys. Austin was missing. Austin was in the wrong line. Austin was born at the wrong time with the wrong people and went down the wrong road. These were the thoughts. And everyone had it figured out, but I didn't. I was behind the eight ball. I had flaws. And at that time, I was never going to overcome those flaws. So I started seeking. I finally, the armor that protected me, the platelets started to crack, the shell cracked, the soft center had to be revealed. And it's like the crab. You ever see a crab molt? When a crab molts, it sheds its hard layer, its protective layer, and the crab becomes vulnerable. So it has to be away from predators because it sheds the skin, because the tissue underneath is soft and a predator could come in and eat the crab. But the crab molts so that the crab can grow a new exoskeleton. And so the cycle continues. So my platelets, my external shell cracked, vulnerability, completely vulnerable. And, even now, more vulnerable than ever. Like, I'm writing poetry. I've quit my job. I'm celebrating 5 years and I'm writing poetry, but I want to get back to the journal. I spent $42 for this journal, an empty book. And I did that because number one, I kept saying to myself, be careful what you tell yourself. I'm not getting that journal. It's $42. I need a nice journal, but I'm not going to spend $42. But it's leather. It's made in Italy. And finally I said, because I am resisting it, I must get it. Because I am resisting it, I must get it. So I finally picked it up. I smell it. It's got a smell to it. It's Vincent van Gogh's Starry, Starry Night. And the other reason why I got this, I'll tell you a story on TikTok after I close out this video. But what I want to say is that regardless of my story, you know what you can do today? You can go to the store or go on Amazon and order a journal that excites you, that compels you to fill it with magic moments. Now, I get people say to me, well, the journal's so nice. I don't want to write in it. I'm afraid to write in the journal because it's so nice. All you need to do is if you feel something, put a word to it and write that word. And I assure you, when you write that word, another word's going to follow. And then another word's going to follow from there. And then another word. And the next thing you know, you're going to have a paragraph. And the next thing you know, you're going to have a sentence. And the next thing you know, you might just uncover a forgotten about purpose. Something that you left. Something that you forgot. My story was, I was so riddled in school, high school, and little college that I took, I couldn't see the forest from the trees. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know I had the ability to write. I knew I had the ability to speak. That I did know, because I go back to my third grade when the teacher said, read this out loud. And I got complimented for it, but I forgot about that. And then writing never crossed my mind. I was just trying to get through school. I was reading the Cliff Notes. Didn't read my first book till I was 21. Didn't read my first book cover to cover till I was 21. Dropped out of college, feeling lost, confused. Again, everybody had it figured out. Feeling like I missed it. Everyone had it. I didn't. This was a story. I told myself, no mas. No mas. So just to recap, July 3rd celebrates 5 years of me quitting my corporate job of 19 years with the same company. And I love those times. I had some really great times there, but I had to grow. And it was number one, I'll go back to just to recap. Austin, how did you reset your life and find your purpose? Number one was depth. I created a program to go deep inside myself. Number two, I had to embrace uncertainty. I had to be so rooted in this purpose that I was willing to risk it all. Number three, I have to continually anchor my purpose, because when you go to do something that's in alignment with yourself, it may not be in alignment with the people in your life. And you might lose people. It's okay. You can love people even if you lose them. And it could be their choice, not yours. Some people will choose to leave you. They will choose to not reconnect with you. Maybe you hurt them. I've hurt people in the past. I've hurt people that I will never talk to again or never see again. But I can still love them. I can still have love in my heart for them and the role that they played in my life. Because truth be told, even in the most negative situations, there's always something there. There's always something positive or a positive lesson. So we can love and let go. And so I thank everybody who's been a part of my journey as I approach 5 years. I'll be doing some more videos. And if you're new to this, the road has shifted again. Now I'm writing poetry. I'm working on my first poetry book. I wanted to serve your heart and soul. And I'm going to be traveling the world. I'm going to be in London in July. That's where I'm starting. I've done some things locally. And I think we're going to do another thing locally. How about it? Do you want to do something else locally where we do a little local event where we can get together? Because I really want to focus on in-person events. I feel like we need that. I love virtual because it gives me the opportunity to do this. But if we are not getting together face to face and looking each other in the eye with the possibility to give each other a hug, then what are we doing? So I'm going to be really focusing on that, to write this book, to put myself out there again, to be even more vulnerable than I was before, and to go on this incredible journey of life. And so I ask you, if you're interested, if this served you, follow along. Just go to my website, austinjhaynes.com. There's a place where you can subscribe to the newsletter or follow the YouTube channel if you're getting that here. That's an easy way to do it. And just think about your purpose. You may say, I don't know what my purpose is. I have no idea where to start. I go to embrace uncertainty. Stop trying to think it through in your head. Get into motion. Emotion is created by motion. Go for a walk, knit a sweater. I was saying, I want to shoot basketball. I'm going to do that again because it does something to mind, body, spirit, just to be able to go out and shoot basketball. Throw horseshoes. Go play horseshoes with somebody. It's that time of year. What else? What else could we do? Have a baseball catch. Throw the baseball with your son, your friend, your loved one. What else? Maybe we can, if you get this on the playback, type something else and you can do. Get yourself into motion. Find out or rediscover, what did you love to do when you were younger? And go back to that and do that. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I'm eager and excited to bring you so much more. So today, just to recap, 5 years ago, July 3rd will be 5 years. I walked away from a 19-year job. 10 years ago, June 11th, I posted my very first piece of content. So I've been posting on social media for 10 years. And then about 20 years ago, maybe longer. It's probably longer. But I've been journaling probably over 25 years. And I just picked up my Vincent van Gogh journal. And if you want to hang on, for those of you that want to hang on for a little extra, I'll tell you a quick story as to why this journal means a lot. This is Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. And the story that I interpreted was Paul Gauguin was another famous artist at the time. And Vincent had moved out to the country. And Vincent wanted to create an art commune in Arles. I believe it's Arles. So he's been asking Paul Gauguin to go there. And Paul Gauguin finally visits Vincent, and he says to him, or they have discussions, I should say, they have these discussions on art and painting, and the whole thing ensues. And then one night they go out, they're drinking together. They're drinking. Vincent used to drink absinthe, and absinthe is a very potent alcohol. It's been known to cause hallucinations in people. So Vincent and Paul Gauguin go out this one night. They're talking about art and painting. Vincent's trying to sell his dream of creating an art commune in Arles. And the next thing you know, they get into a heated debate. Conflict breaks out. Paul Gauguin says, I'm leaving. He gets upset. And Paul Gauguin leaves. And that's the story of when Vincent, in a fit of depression and a psychotic episode, cuts his ear off. We all know the story. Most people know the story. Cuts his ear off. Paul Gauguin leaves. Vincent sends his ear to a prostitute that he was in love with. Can you imagine being this woman and you open up the package and there's an ear in there? Vincent trying to express himself, trying to express his pain of what happened. But then later makes fun of himself because he paints a self-portrait with him with the bandage. But here's what I wanted to point out about this Starry Night. After this psychotic episode, Vincent gets put into a mental hospital. Now, the mental hospital, he's in the room. The room doesn't have a view. I don't know if there's any, don't know the whole recall of it, but there's no windows. And as far as I recollect, the conflict between Paul and Vincent was about, like, Paul was trying to tell Vincent, stop painting these landscapes verbatim. In other words, stop trying to directly paint the landscapes. Paint from your heart and your soul. Paint out of the box. And that's what the conflict was about, at least part of it. So again, Paul leaves. Vincent is now in the mental hospital, and he starts to recover. He gets his paints back. He gets a canvas. And in a night of heightened inspiration, paints Starry Night from his imagination. So he paints Starry Night from his imagination. And look how radiant and beautiful and energetic his imagination interpreting what was happening while in the mental hospital, removed from the world. And here is polarity at play. A heated conflict between Paul Gauguin and Vincent van Gogh, cuts his ear off, goes into the mental hospital. But he takes Paul Gauguin's advice and he paints from the depth of his being. He paints from the depth of his inspiration, and perhaps his most notable and well-known painting, Starry Night. So the reason why I got this $42 journal, leather-bound, made in Italy with Starry Night, is to remind myself and you, we've got to get out of the conventional, programmed thinking that has been handed down. We choose. We get to the point of choice to go deeper in our beings, to uncover the seeds of infinitude that lay dormant there. And once you uncover them, it might take polarity, it might take conflict, it might take a breakup, it might take a loss of job, it might take a loss of finances, it might take losing a friend. But if you stay with it and you get back to your heart Your starry night is waiting for you. My name is Austin James Haynes, Fortune 500 company employee of 19 years with the same company to poet. I'm going on a world tour and I want you to journey with me. Let's do amazing things. There's work for us to do. So let's get at it and have a great day. Have a great Friday. I'll be back for more. Please go to my website and subscribe to the YouTube or the newsletter. God bless everyone. Have a great day.